Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Every Day is Friday, the show where we dive into the stories and experiences from people from all walks of life. Today, we are joined by Phillip, a passionate unicyclist who has incredible stories about how he discovered the world of unicycles and where they are today. Let's jump in. Phillip, how you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, it's amazing how much you learn from those experiences. What advice would you give to someone who wants to first start off riding safely?
So it can be for anybody. You don't need to be somebody that's in really good shape to learn how to do this. I've seen people that don't go to the gym at all and they're really good at it. You just have to look at some of the videos that are out there on websites like YouTube. You'll see pretty much anybody reviewing wheels. Somebody that, again, might not be like this great athlete, but this is kind of a leveling ground where as long as you can figure out what you're doing, in the end, really it just comes down to how you use the vehicle itself, and it really becomes a part of you. That's why everybody just they really say they have a certain style they ride, and depending on how they started riding, all those things affected what they can do, and basically where they do and don't go if their skill level isn't up there yet. So again, a lot of people get the skills from where they start from. If they're from a city, they're used to cars and going in between cars. If they're out further from the city, they're used to streets and maybe dealing with more wide open streets and cars going really fast. So all depends on where you ride, and of course you can be safe and go to certain places around that would allow you to skip cars as well.
That's such good advice. I know you've been in the industry for a couple of years now, many years now, you were telling me. Do you think unicycles are becoming more advanced with time?
So even before I started, I think they'd been around for a good 10 years, and I started around 2020. So I would say since 2010, they started from, again, you can find a lot of these stories on YouTube as well, like the early beginnings. They started off very small, very not powerful, and you would have to charge them for like a whole day and a half, and maybe you would get like 10 minutes on them. So compared to today, they've advanced so far that now you can go 100 plus miles. You can go up walls, but obviously gravity won't allow you to do so. And it can take a person, again, as heavy as you want them, as heavy as a person would probably be. They can go to like an entry level wheel and get that kind of power today, compared to, again, when it started maybe even 2 or 3 years ago. The lower stuff was not capable of going up hills, so to speak. So now pretty much everything can do that. They've created wheels in between, like the fastest wheels out there, and then the wheels that you start on. Um, they've pretty much specialized certain wheels where some are made more for the street, whereas some people with trails might want more suspension, so they're going for different types of wheels now. The technology has just advanced so much where now things pretty much, you can tell what's going on with your battery, if your battery is going bad. Um, there's just so much technology coming to it where you can customize the performance of it. Um, how you like to ride it is basically how you can set it up. The suspension is adjustable. It's just becoming like a car now. What next is going to happen, other than now there's racing leagues, so now they're catering towards, again, just performance and leaps and bounds.
Yeah, can you dive into the racing leagues a little bit?
Sure. So, I probably didn't really notice until like the last year or so that they were even doing that. Um, I was basically a rider that was just seeking other riders, and when I sought out other riders, I found out they were racing, and that really kind of helped me dial in. First of all, I'm around people that are racing, so I know I can talk to the people directly and just get information from them. So in Europe, they do a lot of racing leagues there, and then also those same people come over here, even though it's not like constantly. There's people from Europe that come over here, and now all of our leagues are getting really organized. So it's not like people are making careers out of it, but some people again can get cash prizes for like $1,500, but other sports they're getting hundreds, millions of dollars. So it's really not something that's going to support somebody's life, but you become so passionate. There's a lot of sponsors out there that again, it just makes it easy to go around and travel and have a little bit of a discount. And at the same time, you're just always testing new vehicles for these companies. So they have a blast. They get to travel, and you again, it's probably paying more than making by the time you're finished. So a lot of these people are super passionate. They come from all different types of backgrounds, and all of these get manufactured in China for the most part. So that's where a lot of these people end up at the end of the year, and getting together and giving feedback to the manufacturers. So it's a really nice community out there. Like, again, it's kind of becoming like car manufacturers. They're making them better based on us giving back that feedback, and they're putting things on that maybe we might have come up with now on wheels, or different types of stands, just different trends that all the riders have come up with. It's really cool to see how it's exploding.
Yeah, it sounds like unicycling is a really evolving in a great way. I mean, how do you prepare mentally and physically for a long ride?
So, kind of where we ended up running into each other at the gym. I like to stay in shape. That's something that really kind of gives you that active lifestyle to be outside. Um, Also keep you in shape. You're burning calories and you're having fun, so you don't even feel like you're exercising. That's a huge reason that I still love that over probably anything else that I do. That's an electric vehicle. Um, and then on top of that, just again, that whole lifestyle of being able to be free, be outside, have an active lifestyle, get to where you want to go, and just have a different way of doing it, not be stuck in a car. That's kind of, to me, the thing that I like best about it.
No, that's really inspiring. I mean, what is unicycling like today, and are more people getting into it?
So it's still a small. I don't see it mainstream yet. I see a lot of people like myself. We're really trying to get the word out, from like a local area, and then just kind of connecting with the community over internet, Facebook groups. One way, and any other websites that have forums, just staying in touch with all of the people around the world, trying to stay in touch with the big time content creators, so you really can keep in touch with what's going on. And again, really just trying to do your best to get people out there. It's really something that is cheap if you find the right used wheel to start with, and by the time you're finished, it's just something that can cure boredom. It's something that can help you meet some really unique people that might end up teaching you how or what to do next with your tricks and your skills.
That's awesome. I mean, it's cool to hear that the community is growing. What's something that people don't understand about EV unicycles?
So first and foremost, I find it safer than a lot of vehicles that have more wheels. And the reason I say that is because you feel exactly what's going on with one contact point. And it really just based on leverage going back and forth. That's your body moving, like, looking forward or trying to go backwards. Again, you kind of find your style of how to use this. And by the time you're done, you really can be able to predict ahead of time what you want to do, probably have more control than a vehicle, but at the same time it depends on your skill level. So again, you could have something that can perform really well, but it depends on the person's skill level. So even me, like I was saying before, I still find times where I can't predict something and it happens, and next thing you know, you're in an accident. So just like a car, you have a risk. So prepare accordingly. If you know you're going to be somewhere where you need a lot of gear, wear it. And the best thing you can do is protect your skull up here. So wearing a helmet, even if you're just trying to test something out for 10 feet, can save your life from a hemorrhage.
No, that's awesome. I mean, what do you think EV unicycling taught you about life?
So I think a lot of people these days, they're kind of stuck inside their walls watching TVs, and just not really getting a chance to feel human these days. There's a lot of disconnections that we have. So for me, it's really a support group to get out there, to again get a little bit of fresh air, be around people that are like-minded like you, and again, just not sitting on your butt, being able to get outside, move around, and really see what's going on out there. Just like anybody else walking on a sidewalk, it really does kind of open your eyes. You get to see everything going on, and again, depending on where you're at, you can use it as a travel vehicle, so you can go do walks with people, hit trails. Again, there's tracks out there, I'm sure, around even our state that I haven't seen or heard about yet. So you really got to find the places to go, and communicate with people that are in the community to find those places. And after that, again, it really is a fun thing to do as a group rather than just on your own.
No, it's so inspiring. It's great to see how much it helps you grow.
It grows in multiple ways, like I was saying before. For a lot of people, they have addictions that something like this can get them outside, keep them again away from doing things that they'd otherwise be wasting time doing. And in the end, it's done things like save people's lives, and just create that communication channel to meet with people rather than just stay inside another day and just let things build up.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, what would you say to someone that wants to try EV unicycling but feels a little nervous about it?
So again, in the end, if you don't have the skill level, don't put yourself in danger. A lot of people just go around their neighborhoods, and that alone right there is enough for some people. So it's all about finding the places you can go, finding the groups of people that are at your skill level, that don't put you in danger, and by the time you're done, you can really reach out and find those types that like-minded.
No, it's great advice. It really is. I mean, it sounds like it makes. No, it's great advice. I mean, please don't put yourself in situations you don't feel comfortable in at times like that when it's life or death. I mean, at the end of the day, if you don't know what you're doing, get off of it, you know?
Absolutely, and for other people, again, it's something that you don't get if you're driving a car. It's, for me, an adrenaline rush. It was something else that replaced other habits that for me just was a waste of time, and weren't really contributing to my health. So it's something that gets you out there, and again, there's so much creativity and unique personality that you can build, not only into your gear, the different types of things that you're going to be using for pads are all customizable. You can really just go nuts and spend tons of money if you want to, but for the most part, do it yourself, save a few bucks, and just add a few things. And again, you can make it a lot cheaper than it seems in the end.
Yeah, where can people find you to learn more about the EV unicycles and the group you have?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way, depending on your state, I'm here in Michigan, so I've created a group myself, and then there's another group that also is pretty well known. So the name of my group would be Bloomfield Hills PEV. Just search that in Facebook. I'm sure you'll find it show up there. And we have a local group that I created, and we just ride around with a lot of other groups that are around in Michigan. So another group, EUC Detroit, they're also on Facebook. They're the first group that I was a part of, and from there actually learned pretty much how to ride from the beginning with those guys. So again, just found there was areas out here that nobody was really riding, felt there was a need to create a new group and have something that was more out this way. And so those are two great groups to be a part of. If you're looking for places to buy, I bought mine from a website, ewheels.com. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but they're a great group that I've bought my wheels from, and definitely can serve any type of budget that people have. Again, it all depends. What do you want to do? Buy a new one, buy a used one. If you're a part of a group, that's a good way to buy used. Sometimes people don't always advertise what's going on, and again, you can get a really good deal from a friend, I'm sure. And then online, pretty much for the most part, mostly new. If people are buying used, it's really trying to find people selling them online, and I don't really recommend that. You don't want to do anything unless you've seen it yourself, wrote it yourself. So that's probably the best way, just working with friends of yours and the community. Sometimes the community advertises. People are well vetted, and people really believe in working with them. So it all depends. Once you do get familiar with things, you tend to sometimes have other resources to get those wheels from.
No, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. If you could give one piece of advice to someone chasing their dreams, what would it be?
So in my case, never give up, I think, is the best advice I've heard from people. Even when you have failure, failure brings success. So as many times as you hit that wall, as many times as you hit rock bottom, it's always about getting up. And same thing with this sport with electric unicycles. You just can't quit, and eventually things work out for you if it's something that's a passion for you, and you just keep getting better. So really, like everything else, it's something that you can keep progressing with. It usually, again, makes life a little bit happier for me. So I recommend it for anybody that, again, it's a cure for boredom, and is definitely something that I would have a passion for anybody else as well.
What does success mean to you?
So I think for me it's a balance of happiness and again sometimes materials in life. Definitely want to achieve some more things in that direction, but for the most part for me the next step is getting healed up from this last injury, getting back into the hobby itself for next season, the warm season coming up, and then again have some things coming up job-wise that are just starting for me. So things are looking up for the new year, and definitely looking forward to more riding in the next couple months here.
No, it's that's really great to hear. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
I probably I would probably say strap on some safety gear, because I've been through quite a bit since then, and I'm not sure that I was ready for all the all the things that life threw at me, so to speak. So again, I think the just don't give up thing is something that I would always push if I was my younger self at this point, which is something that's kind of stuck since I was younger. So really just keep keep going for it.
Yeah, keep moving forward no matter what they say. We're gonna keep on rocking every single day. What's one thing you hope people remember about this interview?
So again, you got to get yourself outside. I think electric unicycles are going to be the thing for those people that want to get that adrenaline rush out there, and again, kind of put yourself in something that's different, something that's new, and I guarantee it'll feel different than anything that you've ever rode before. And right now, that's something that again I think I would put on top of everything else. So if you can, find a friend that's riding, find a way to rent one, however it is, and get out there and feel something different than you felt before.
Once again, it's great to hear. I mean, what's the biggest lesson you've learned in the past year?
So in my case, really just keeping routine. A lot of things happen where, we just get stressed out. We're doing so many things at once. Sometimes it's exercise that we got to get ourselves to. So I think really just finding ways to let out and get all those things from your day out of the bag. If you can just find a way to do that, that'll keep things good for a lot of people.
What's next for you, and how can the audience support your journey?
Sure. So, as far as the electric unicycle groups go, we're going to keep trying to collect people, try to spread the word. We have new people starting in groups constantly, so there's always somebody around here that I'm sure we'll run into next season. And all you can do is your best and try to get people out there, right?
So true. Your vision for the future is exciting.
Great, Matt. Thank you for having me on the show. It's a privilege.
No, it's my pleasure. And for the listeners who may not be familiar with your line of work yet, could you give us a quick rundown of who you are and what you do?
So basically, my name is Phillip, and I come from Bloomfield Hills. I'm a relatively older guy, so lately I've just been unemployed and working out at a gym. But other than that, I have a lot of hobbies that I do in the off time. So right now, basically, finally, just had a job come this last week, and now we're basically off season with the hobbies for my stuff. But we're waiting for a couple months here for that to start again.
Yeah, how did you first find out about unicycles?
So I didn't have a license probably since 2011. COVID came, and essentially PEVs, or personal electric vehicles, they popped up really big during COVID, and just like everybody else now, like they just kind of stumbled upon people like myself. And I was looking for ways to get to places without having a license at the time. And I saw this video of a guy riding on an electric unicycle. Coogee Rolls is the name of this guy on a YouTube channel. And that just like stuck in my mind. And pretty soon I found myself buying one.
That's so cool. Is it always fun to ride them like you do? I mean, what made you want to keep going with unicycling after you first tried it?
So really just stumbled on it, like I was saying. Found out there was no restrictions in that case of a license. You don't have to register it. So I was all gung ho about, now I've got something. Obviously the weather in the winter is not the time to ride it, but like regardless, all the other times where the season allows, the streets allow, you'll see me out there. And essentially, again, you keep realizing that now it's like a vehicle; it can get me anywhere. So then I just found myself riding it as locally as I could to many places, and just get better every year at it. And then, just the case of there's nobody really out there doing it. So it just, again, it was something unique. It served a purpose for this adrenaline rush I was seeking.
I love that. It sounds like it really clicked with you right away. I mean, how fast can a EV unicycle go?
So right now we're seeking up speeds. I mean, let's just say touching it, maybe not cruising at that speed, 70 miles an hour, and that's stable. That's somebody that's flying in the wind, 70 miles an hour.
That's impressive. What's the fastest you ever gone on the EV unicycle?
So in my case, I've probably been in the 50s. I've never hit 60 before. I'm sure some wheel that I'll get someday will do that. Every year they just keep getting more powerful. So it's more about headroom now. Now that we have all this power, there's more safety, which means even though they can go this fast, now we have this much headroom. So in terms of things like cutouts, which you don't really think about till you get one, now you're working with essentially a machine that at any point could cut out. You need to understand what you're working with and maintain them well. And again, there's just a whole spectrum of things that you get involved with once you touch one of these vehicles.
Yeah, that must have been such a rush. I mean, it sounds like a extreme challenge to drive one of those. Are EV unicycles safe to ride at high speeds?
So again, it's really just like cars. It all determines about what your skill level is. If you can't parallel park, you're probably going to hit a car. If you can't turn, you're probably going to go straight and run into something. So again, it's all about learning how to get on it is probably one of the first biggest steps. I mean, literally, to take on this vehicle, there's two pedals on each side. When you see a wheel, you're a little bit intimidated because you really don't know where do you begin this balancing act. And I started off trying to do this on my own, and then eventually I found a group in Detroit that had a bunch of riders that kept in really good touch on the internet and forums with the company I bought this electric unicycle from. So from there, I ended up meeting these people, just kind of ran into them, decided to meet, and next thing you know, they're showing me an easier way to get on this unicycle, and all of a sudden, with like 30 minutes in a parking lot with a shopping cart, I was up and running. I wasn't, riding confidently, but at least I knew what I was trying to do at that point. So you just gravitate from there to getting to the point where, hey, now I want to get better. What kind of things can I buy for this electric unicycle that's either a way for me to just stand out on my own? And again, that's the whole other alleys. You can have your whole personality and identity with this, where you can just stylize it, and by the time you're done, you basically pick out what type of wheel you like for the type of riding you do. You have the accessories for the type of riding that you do. There's lots of things you can buy that again can kind of make things easier and better for you in terms of being comfortable on it. So we have these power pads. The power pads keep your feet in. That's probably the first question you have when you're on these things is, if I fall off, or, what do I use to stay on here? And these things end up helping you do that. And then on top of that, obviously, everybody wants to ride at night. There's lights that you can attach. So again, it just branches off into all these other things that, again, can take forever to figure out, where does it end? There's so many things to do with this.
Yeah, it's great to know how like safety plays a big role in riding. I mean, what kind of gear do you need to safely ride the EV unicycle?
So all depends on the situation. If you're outside with your friends and you're just casually strolling around, maybe on streets in a neighborhood, people don't really gear up too much, but obviously a helmet is something that I would say no matter where you're going, what you're doing, even if you're getting on it, have a helmet. Plenty of people have hurt their ankles, so now it's time to find shoes that, again, protect you and fit really well. Um, Sometimes shoes aren't flat, and sometimes you want to start off with a flat foot when it comes to this vehicle. So again, there's all these different things that you can do to get this balancing act to work for you.
No, it's so cool. I mean, what's the most challenging part about staying balanced at high speeds?
So it all depends on your skill level. If you're just starting, there's obviously a certain speed that you're comfortable with. Not a lot of people start out going 40. That's something that they train to do. There's wind, that's a factor, including on windy days. I learned pretty easily myself. The first windy day that I rode, I know that it was completely different. Now is like a parachute in wind. And if you're going 40 miles an hour just like a car, you put your hand out there, and things change when a gust of wind comes. So those are the things you have to learn on the spot. Just like riding, if you're surfing a wave or something like that, you have to learn how to duck under so you don't drown.
No, that makes so much sense. Have you ever had any close calls or crashes while riding?
So yeah, I recently just got into an accident. That's something that happened maybe like 2 months ago. Traffic here in Michigan is pretty crazy, so I was on a road and ended up just going into a parking lot, and just ended up getting hit by somebody on the way. And then even before that, again, there's drivers that just might stop too quick for you to stop, and in my case, that's happened to me before. So again, it's something where planning accordingly and knowing where your skill level is, don't put yourself in those type of situations that would put you in danger. So if your skill level isn't there, just like anywhere else, if there's danger involved, don't put yourself around cars when you first start. Just again, learn how to casually ride around first, and then learn how to ride with traffic if that's something that you plan on doing. But eventually you have to cross a road. There's traffic around, and not everybody has trails everywhere. So sometimes streets are all you have, and that's where I started learning. And that's something I felt comfortable with. And again, some streets are 50 miles an hour, and you have to speed up a little bit. So just like cars, you got to stay in the right lane, and be safe with everything, and again, just learn how traffic goes around your local area, and hopefully the best for everybody.
Any shout outs you want?
Well, hey, I really appreciate your time. So I thank you for that privilege to get me on here. And again, all the EUC riders out there, just like myself, that are passionate, shout out to all of them for making the community like it is. And considering all the laws that haven't started yet, I'm hoping that we can help shape that with that community itself and get involved with the state a little bit more so that we can get ourselves out there and still be safe and ride with everybody else.
No, thank you so much for joining us today, Philip. It was awesome to hear about your stories and all the ways unicycling shaped your life. To everyone listening, thank you for tuning in to Every Day is Friday. And always go chase your dreams, because your dreams will not chase you. Until next time.
Appreciate it.
Listening.